Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Shireen's World, y'all. Welcome, everybody. Listen, hello, Facebook. Welcome. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, all my survivors, my victims, my thrivers, you know, or anybody that just want to educate themselves. And welcome, all you narcissistic men and women. Y'all already know I got to shout y'all out because y'all terrible out there. Welcome to Shireen's World. Listen, we got to get into this. We definitely got to get into this real quick. Okay, welcome to Shireen's World, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, listen, okay, as you guys know, I am a peer mentor survivor, okay, for domestic violence and narcissistic abuse relationships, okay? Listen, alrighty. I bring awareness, I bring my story, I bring it raw. However I put it, is how I put it out there, okay? It's real out here, and everybody needs this awareness. Okay, it's not from a textbook. It's from my life, my experience, and maybe things that I've researched and learned about narcissists and especially domestic violence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is real out here in these streets. Binghamton, I definitely want to bring a lot of awareness to Binghamton, especially in the area that I'm in, because it's definitely real out here in these streets out here. There's a lot of narcissistic men, and there's definitely a lot of narcissistic women out here. It's all around out here. And I know I like to spread awareness nationwide and everywhere. But listen, hey, but Binghamton, it's a lot of narcissistic men and women here. You know, everyone needs to educate themselves. Yeah, you understand me? Everyone goes through a terrible situation when they were younger, or whatever they went through. Me, I went through a domestic situation, and bad relationships or whatever the case may be. You understand? But the thing about it, what I learned is I started learning, especially from domestic. I started learning things about that, and then I never expected, to get into a narcissistic relationship. So I never knew what a narcissist was, until I got into it, and the cycle just kept going in a circle like I was a hamster, but just going in circles. But I started learning what I was actually in and dealing with. And once I started peeping the game, that's how I was able to start educating myself and start removing myself in actually breaking the cycle and going no contact completely. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there could be times when you go no contact and you will go back and forth with the narcissist. Like they're gonna swindle you back in. There are gonna be times. You know how many times people don't went back? I don't went back. There's a lot of people that go back and forth. But that's the part where a lot of people are stuck at. They're stuck at that part and they're stuck at trying to figure it out. And they're stuck right there. And that's the part where I actually survived and now I'm thriving. I'm getting over that. I healed and I'm getting over that. Another thing you have to do is you also have to look at, what's going on in your life, and it's not blaming yourself for anything, okay? It's basically seeing why you keep attracting all this negative or all these type of people around you. Okay, so you have to. There's a lot of things you have to take in as well as a victim, and I get it. I've been through those shoes. I've been in it. Okay, all right. So there, you have to sit down and also, think about that yourself too, because then you'll start healing. You'll start your healing process. You'll start educating yourself. And especially if you get one-on-one counseling. You need one-on-one counseling. You need a domestic violence advocate, or even if not a domestic violence advocate, if they don't have any available in your areas, because listen, as I tell y'all, I give resources information to whoever that inboxes me for the resources in their area, and I spread the awareness, whatever they're looking for in their area, I share it off, okay? And they give me the feedback, and if there's no advocates available or whatever it is, I try my best to find more resources or whatever it is. I talk to them. I give them whatever it is that's stressing them out. I try to break it down to them of what's going on. You understand? Because that's the same way I wanted it broken down to me. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, domestic violence and narcissistic abuse is real. You have these narcissistic females out here. All right, especially in Binghamton. It's real out here. There's a lot of domestic violence in Binghamton that a lot of awareness needs to be spreaded. And it's not a lot of people coming out talking about it. So in Binghamton, New York, that's Broome County. Okay, there's a lot of that going on. Listen, I keep telling you about the narcissistic, toxic women that like to party all the time and drink and want to have multiple supplies in the cut. You understand what I'm saying? And they like to put their hand on men and they like to use men. They operate just like narcissistic men. It's the same, it's just different genders. And the only thing is like narcissistic women, they're more worse because they have all these hormones and everything that's going through. So Shireen World, I definitely call out both. I don't tolerate that. You understand me? I don't tolerate women putting their hands on men or doing all that wild, wickedy stuff. Okay. The only thing that I could tolerate is as a woman or a male is you recognize what you're doing and you go try to go get the help without being forced, but going on your own and wanting to save whatever situation you got going on. Okay? Because if somebody see you trying to do that on your own, then maybe that's a step. I don't know. But like I keep telling y'all, if a person has narcissistic traits, or narcissistic personality disorder, there's no cure to that. So once they have that, that's what they got. They're gonna always have that. Okay. And that's why I say, I can't tell everybody else what to do, but just take it as awareness. That's why I say when you're dealing with a narcissist and you're coming out these situations, don't try to save it. It's no point. And I get some people may be married to them. They may have kids by them. I get it. But if that's not what you want and that's not what you're looking for, and if that person is making you feel like trash or whatever it is, and you're not getting your answers, that's not the relationship for you. Okay. Because these narcissistic men and women, they like to play these games. Okay. And y'all toxic women, y'all already know I'll be calling y'all out all day. Okay. I did a couple of videos on y'all narcissistic women. Alrighty. And Shireen World is definitely gonna call y'all out because y'all nasty out here in these streets. I'm telling y'all. Listen, ladies, this information is for the ladies out there, the narcissistic ladies, the toxic ones, the ones that the Jezebels, the ones that think they in baddies, the ones that think they on love and hip hop, those type of ones, the ones that like to be at the bars and the clubs and up in everybody's face and fighting and being on the internet and showing all their body and whatever. Let me tell you the reason why you're not finding your dude or whatever you want to call it. Okay. It's because look how toxic you are. Okay. You must have some unhealed things going on with yourself that you never sat down and, spoke to a counselor about. Okay. And that's a sad thing because you're bringing that into another relationship and now you're being toxic towards somebody else. Okay. So y'all toxic, narcissistic females, y'all need to go get some mental health. Like seriously, because y'all out here and y'all doing crazy stuff to these men out here. And then let me tell y'all something. And this information is for both genders. Anybody that's a victim, a survivor, a thriver, or if you just want to educate yourself. All righty. These narcissistic people, okay, they will play victim. They will do whatever it is to get whatever it is that they want from you. Okay. The toxic men, the toxic women, they're out there. And these toxic ladies, I'm gonna tell you like this, okay? You're not gonna find your husband in the bar looking at every woman doing whatever they doing toxic, okay? And men, you're not gonna find your wife or whatever you're looking for in that bar or club or whatever that is, especially if she's dressing half naked, showing all her goods, whatever. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with you going out to a party and, things like that, but it's also a way how to conduct yourself when you're outside. Okay. And these girls in Binghamton, they think that they are on baddies. They think that they in love and hip hop. They think they on a show. Okay. They think that they got to fight every man or supply why they continue to lie about what they got going on. You understand? And most of these ladies, they need to go get themselves checked out. Another thing that they do is, and it goes for men and women, especially for the men, because the men is more harder because this is why more awareness and more men got to come out and speak up. And some men, it's hard for them to speak up because people don't believe them. So that's why I call it out. But listen, some females, because I was about to lose where I was at. Some of these females out here, okay, they I don't even want to say it all, but listen, you know what? I'm gonna leave that part. I'm gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave these toxic ladies alone, because they're like the Jezebels, 304s, just like the narcissistic men. They operate the same way, the same way. Okay, ain't nothing different. You're gonna have a Jezebel 304 narcissistic female that's unhealed. Okay, she's putting her hands on you. All right. Now you're not putting your hands back on her. You're not doing none of that. And then you can't take it so much no more that you just react. Now they got their cameras out and they want to record. This go for the men and women. All right. That's basically them trying to get a reaction out of you. And that's how they get you. So when it's time for them to call Popo, all they got is what you did. They didn't record from the beginning. They didn't record what they did. They just record your reaction. All right. So it is so much when it comes to these narcissistic men and women out here in these streets, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna tell you like this, as me being a survivor, it's real out here. These narcissists, they like to use people, and it's sad how they operate. They're like little demons. Okay, and I'm gonna keep bringing awareness. My foot is gonna still be on these grounds for these victims, survivors, or anybody that just can't come out and speak. I want to say shout out to all my people that is on my support group page on domestic violence and narcissistic relationships. I survived. Like I said, we almost a 3K over there. And I want to say shout out to all you guys over there. Shout out to all of you that's inboxing me. I'm not saying no names. All of that is private. But shout out to every last one of you guys. I appreciate you all. It means a lot because it shows me that my awareness is getting out there. But what that also shows me is that there's a lot of people suffering from narcissistic abuse. Forget domestic violence because it all comes together. Okay. But everybody's story is different. Alrighty. I see a lot of narcissistic abuse going on. I see a lot of people that don't know how to come out that cycle. And I get it because I was in that cycle. And the main thing that I try to express to people is, you know, you have to heal. You have to remove yourself from that situation. You have to want the one-on-one counseling. You have to keep pushing yourself. You have to be an advocate for yourself. You understand? If you're in a dangerous, serious situation, then you call 911. You do what you got to do. You understand me? But in order for you to be able to heal and come out of a domestic or narcissistic relationship and break that cycle, you must heal. You must heal whatever it is that you got going on with yourself. You must, okay? Because if not, and educate yourself. Because if not, you will continue to keep repeating the same cycle, okay? And this narcissist could continue to keep swindling you in, and there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to Shireen's World, okay? I'm gonna start heading up out of here. Listen, alrighty. I appreciate everybody, but we just getting started. And like I said, Shereen World is not going nowhere. If you are a victim of domestic violence and narcissistic abuse relationships, just know that there is a lot of help out there. Check in my description. I dropped a lot of help information in my description to the video. There's a lot of help, especially in Binghamton. Okay. Keep your voice heard as a peer mentor survivor. If you need any help, you know, and going to court with someone, standing next to you, but your advocate and your lawyer and stuff, just to have someone by your side. That's what a peer mentor survivor is there for as well, not just bringing awareness. We could put our boots on the ground too to a certain point. You understand? Yeah, but listen, if you are out there experience that, you can contact the National Domestic Violence National Hotline number. You have the Crime Victim Services. Listen, they're there. They will talk to you in the middle of the night, whatever you gotta do. Listen, I'm not gonna give y'all information if I didn't use the same information, okay? Here's another thing. Don't be out here registering no cars, putting insurance in no name, no liens, no. Listen, do not be doing this for these narcissistic men and women. All right, don't be getting no nails done, and y'all know the weekend is coming up, so they're gonna be out there and they're gonna have that hand out trying to get something out of you, so they can go sit up in their new supply face while they lie to you. Alrighty, so we're gonna start heading up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all have a blessed evening. Hit the like button. Make sure you share this video to anybody that you know that's in a situation. Even if you're not in a situation, just share it. You never know. It could be your uncle, your brother, your sister, your grandma. It don't matter. It's all ages out there trying to learn. And like I said, there's a lot of people that do go unalive behind the situation, and it's sad. Alrighty? There's a lot of help. No matter where you at, there's help out there, okay? Alrighty. We're gonna head up out of here. Thank you guys.
House too quiet, heart too loud. Thought I'd die there. Look at me now, yeah. Keys in the door, I froze in the kitchen. Breath so thin, could've